What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of RBL Weekly, hosted by Josh Means again. It's another Bay Area takeover. I got a better co-host this time, though.
Hell yeah.
Joining me this week, Lexi Ochinelli.
Hey, everybody.
Make some noise at home. I'm very excited for this week. Me and Lexi always love to talk battles. This is going to be the most in-depth that we've gotten, though. I just stole your line from the first take we did, but we're going to keep it rolling.
Yeah. If only you guys could see that first take. I was killing
First take, she nailed it. I did not. We got a lot of fun battles, a couple maybe not so fun, but that's on you guys to decide. A lot of fun news, though. RBL Live will be launching on the 26th of June. Make sure to check out RBL Live. Move over from the Patreon. There's a lot of cool stuff we're doing there. It's basically a Patreon for all 24 of the cities, just centralized into one place. And there's going to be just more and more content coming from there. It's going to keep expanding, I guess. We need Lexi as the hype woman.
Yeah.
But make sure to check out rbl.live before the launch. Also, if you're already a member of the Patreon, Jay Light has been going through and DMing or emailing people some links to sign up for RBL.live. So be on the lookout for those. Very excited. Fun couple of weeks coming up. We've got the RBL All-Star Game next month, July 13th at the Comedy Cellar. 5 great battles. Check it out. Get some tickets. You won't want to miss that. The last show they did at the Cellar was top to bottom insane. So I think you're not going to want to miss that. Did you see the first Cellar show they did?
No, I didn't.
It was crazy. Dan Wicks and John Ajoda.
I saw their battle.
Yeah, they had
that was crazy.
Greg Roque and Chris Crespo battled there too. The cripple fight.
Okay, I guess I've seen it in snippets.
Yes.
Yeah, on Instagram.
Great night of battles. I feel like they're going to do that again for the All-Star Game. I'm very excited for that battle, or that night of battles. And then we also, listen, I feel like I didn't say a nice enough thing for Pat Barker last week. I didn't realize that, some people didn't get the information from Instagram. A lot of people just watched the YouTube. So I do want to, again, mention that Pat Barker has stepped away from Roast Battle, and I just want to shout out everything he did for Roast Battle. As the commissioner, as a judge, as the booker, he did so much. There are so many people that look up to him. There's very few comics I admire more than Pat Barker, and I feel like the league suffers with him not in it. I feel like he was the Michael Jordan of this sport. But also, I will say that when Michael Jordan went to play baseball, people still watched the NBA. And I still think there are so many great roast battlers, writers around the world that have been participating in the RBL that I'm very excited that it is still continuing. So shout out Pat, the GOAT. I hope you come back and lead us to another three-peat someday.
Yeah, love you, Pat.
Hell yeah.
I was being your ASL translator, and then you got all serious. I was like, I can't be like,
yeah,
Pat.
He doesn't know how to. Very good at physical comedy, physical seriousness, not her forte.
Yeah. Okay. I have my legs crossed right now. I'm sitting like a lady.
All right. And then RBL Weekly, it's not just going to be me every week. You don't need to tell us how much you hate it in the comments, even though I know you will. I think it's going to be pretty cool. What we're going to be doing is a different city will be hosting RBL Weekly. Maybe not every week, but we'll be bouncing around the league. Maybe Roast Battle Chicago will host one week, or Roast Battle in New York. Maybe we get the WRBL in to host a couple as well, just so that you guys at home get a chance to kind of meet all of the other battlers from around the world. Like I said, there are so many battlers in all of these we've got 24 regions, including the RBL and the WRBL. There's so many great battlers in those regions. I think having an RBL Weekly that bounces around the league would be great for everyone to get to know everybody.
Yeah, I agree. Pat was the GOAT of this podcast. And he has like such good analytical insight. But if you do want to get to know like other battlers and other people's perspectives, they vary totally across the world. Absolutely. So that'll be like a silver lining.
What's one city you would like to see host RBL Weekly?
Scotland.
Yeah. Okay. I would love a Ryan Cullen, Jack Trainer episode of RBL
Me too.
Weekly.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments who you would like to see host. You can just put the cities, or you can put which comics from those cities. And we'll do what we can to make that happen, because I feel like that would be a fun way to keep this RBL Weekly going when we don't have the guy that has those analytics.
Yeah. Subtitles on. Scotland hosts the RBL.
We will need to get a subtitle person for sure. And then with that, there's one more thing I want to say before we get to the battles. I was actually very surprised that in my first week handling the rankings, Bay Area finished with the #1 battle. And I thought a lot of people were going to be talking about collusion. And surprisingly, they were not. And I think that goes to show how good of a battle Dakota Fry and Gildo had last week for the Bay Area. This week, a little different. The Bay Area did not finish with the #1 battle. So I colluded to make sure they did. No, I'm kidding.
I was like, now that you brought it up, everyone's going to be talking about it.
This was a very fun week to follow the rankings as they came in. When I went to bed last night, 1, 2, and 3 were all kind of locked. 2 and 3 actually have flip-flopped since last night, but they've stayed in the same top 3. And then 4 through 9 has been just really even in points, to the point where when we had like 2 more rankings left to be submitted, we had a tie for 7th place, and I was like, I hope these last 2 people break the tie. And we now had 3 ties, not a 3-way tie, but 3 ties. There was a tie for 4th and 5th, a tie for 6th and 7th, and that 7th place tie got bumped down to 8th and 9th. So very, very wild week in the rankings. Nobody kind of knew what to do with those battles outside of the top 3. Everybody was kind of all over the place. And I feel like there are going to be a lot of cities that are surprised that they missed out. But one of those cities that did not miss out is the Bay Area. And we come in with the #7 battle this week, getting us 1 point. This is Avery Dower versus Drew Schaefer. Let's check it out.
Yo. Please make it real loud for my opponent. He looks like Jack Weiler if a genie took away his white privilege. Avery over here, he's a barista at Starbucks. Yeah, he is, for real, yeah. Doesn't matter what you order, you're gonna get a shaken espresso.
Drew looks like a pedophile that only targets Hitler Youth. Yeah, you have such a Nazi face. It looks like no one taught you the difference between right and wrong.
Avery played wheelchair basketball in college. I know, we got an athlete over here. And even though they were all in wheelchairs, he made sure after the game that he still dribbled between a black man's legs.
The only thing Drew needs to complete his final form is a propeller hat and a giant lollipop. Drew looks like his favorite sex position is Mormon missionary. That's where Drew puts on footy pajamas and jumps up and down on the bed while another guy fucks his wife.
I mean, at least the guy can jump, so that's... Oh, damn, good for you. Good for you, Avery.
What are you going to do now, Nazi?
Yeah. You're going to give him a standing ovation for standing. That's great, you guys. That's great. I love Avery's actually a film major. He is. He's a film major, you guys, which is so ironic, because usually all the films he's in involve minors. He's fucking the kids. I don't know. San Francisco's like, that's not on my hard drive. Yes, it is, okay? It's all on his. is.
No, they're fucking me. That's why I walk like this. Drew, you finally answered the question, how much cock would a Drew Chuck suck if a Drew Chuck could suck cock? You might recognize Drew from your high school history textbooks. He's the guy pointing to a whites-only sign from behind the lunch counter.
Gotta put them in their place, you know? What are we talking about here? Avery here,
Wow.
I feel bad. I feel bad. People give Avery a hard time. They're always saying like, oh, Avery, this is like you're a DEI. This is like your Make-A-Wish. This is your Make-A-Wish. And Avery would never say Make-A-Wish, except to the kids before he locks them in his basement. You guys don't like kids getting neither do the kids he's you guys.
Drew recently took a trip to London to reassure his teeth that there were other kids just like them. Oh man, guys, man, all this roasting is making me super thirsty. Oh fuck, it's not a twist off. Can you? No, smile. Yeah. Prop comedy, bitches.
Prop comedy, let's do this shit. Yeah. This Nigel Thornberry with malaria over here is Avery, everybody. Avery loves hip-hop music. He does, I know. Earlier I made the jump joke you guys didn't like. He loves hip-hop, and much like his favorite hip-hop artist, he also can't run very far from the police.
She's actually here. Drew has a fat Indian wife named Aurora. Hi, Aurora.
I'm just gonna kill you.
You might think we call her Aurora Borealis because she's as big as the sky, but she's so fat we call her Aurora Broke Your Phallus.
What a way to end. What a way to end.
It got so personal at the end.
Yeah, I told Avery this after that battle. If you're gonna make a joke about someone's significant other, even if they're a comic, the punchline should be more on the person you're battling, not their significant other.
Yeah.
But I will say, if you were wondering who the one lady laughing at all of Drew's jokes were, it was his wife. Yeah, I thought it was a very fun battle. I think Avery had a lot of really good jokes in that one. Drew did as well, but I feel like this was Avery's battle.
I agree. I think Drew started off with a local reference saying that he looks like
Jack Weiler. Yeah, very, very niche reference there. But I mean, roast battle fans know Jack Weiler. They don't know Jack Weiler. They know the guy that got eviscerated by John and Joda at the mothership.
Oh, so, yeah. Forgot about that. I liked the shaken espresso line because I literally just went to Starbucks and got a shaken espresso before coming here. So that was funny.
I loved his final form. He just needs a propeller hat and a lollipop. Such a funny joke.
Yeah. I do think Drew was going a little too hard on the child porn thing with Avery. He was like, he was a film major and all the films that he's doing is with the children, and like the disconnect there was like, I wasn't thinking about porn. Like,
there's so many things to make fun of Avery for. You had to go act file joke.
Yeah, right?
But also, I feel like they were on their phones a little too much. Like, I know, to me, it's kind of fine if you're checking your phone and then telling the joke, but I mean, Avery takes so long to get a sentence out. Drew, you could have read your next joke while he was going. But I did enjoy the battle. They're two of my favorites, so he's definitely fun for me to watch. I loved when Drew said something about him not jumping, so Avery just did the weakest little leap of all time.
Physical comedy and prop comedy in one battle. Yeah. Which honestly I thought was really fun. Usually I'm like,
the prop could have been done better, but or just skipped in all.
I liked it.
It was
I think it's a talent to be able to like open a bottle on a table. I want to try it on Drew's teeth.
I have also made that joke in battle with Drew, so I guess a similar one. I didn't bring out the bottle, but Yeah.
I
Could
bought
have
a
a
bottle
Bubba's
after the battle.
Very fun battle. Bay Area gets 1 point. Do you have any other thoughts on that battle?
No, I thought it was really fun. Honestly, it was a really strong number 7.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where the list goes as we keep climbing up the ranks.
Yeah, I will say that battle finished 1 point ahead of 2 teams who finished with a tie and are going to be very surprised they're not on this list. Not just them, but I feel like you guys will be as well. So stay tuned. Now that brings us to our number 6 battle. We're going to head international. This comes to us from Manchester. This is a very well-known battler from Manchester, Jordan Ducharme, possible international all-star, taking on Sam Thorley. Let's check it out.
Oh, hey now, everybody. How are we? Great. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'll start. This Walter White nationalist is Sam Thorley, everyone. Give it up for him. Sam looks like if an octopus was disguised as a human. You know what I mean? He looks like he has barnacles. No, Sam is divorced and has a child, so when he's not on stage, you can catch him crying in his car outside of a courtroom.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, his ex left him as well, but he was fine because she couldn't take 50% of nothing, so. All right, this is Jordan Ducharme. More of a douche, less of the charm. Yeah, Jordan came to the UK in 2019. He arrived on a raft with his best friend Wilson. Hang on, no, yeah, he came to the UK hoping to make it big in comedy and make piles of cash. But so far, he's just got piles. So.
Sam loves being a dad. He says his favorite part about having a kid is how it lets women let their guards down around him. Now, I may be a stoner, but Sam's eyes are always bloodshot every 4:20 because his kids always get picked up at 4:30.
It's just nice to see him every now and then, isn't it? Okay, yeah. Jordan's an alcoholic.
No.
As you can see. And he's a Canadian alcoholic, so it'll ruin your night, but he'll be really sorry about it. Yeah, he's not got many phobias, but he is a bit claustrophobic because of that one time he got trapped in a glacier for 10,000 years.
Sam looks like he has a drawer full of rough drafts of his suicide note. If Sam was a wrestler, his name would be Stone Cold Steve Exhausted. I feel like he just lost the big one at WrestleMania to his wife's divorce lawyer.
I don't know why I keep agreeing to do these. Okay. Yes, Jordan has been doing stand-up for a little while, but you're more likely to recognise him as the groundskeeper from Hogwarts. Yeah, Jordan's basically Hagrid with a drinking problem. He'd be Hagrid if they changed the name to Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fireball.
I love Fireball. Let me think. 1 sec. Let me read. Sorry. Sam is an intellectual. He's always up for a debate, especially against those pesky pedo hunters that keep finding him at bus stops. You know, some people can name all the countries in Europe, and Sam can name the age of consent in all those countries.
It's important to know. On the allegations of paedophilia, nothing's ever been proven, okay? So charges were dropped. Jordan's a big pro wrestling fan, which makes sense, doesn't it? They all look like that. Yeah. Jordan loves WWE, which stands for Whiskey with Everything. Yeah, Jordan dreamed of becoming a pro wrestler as a child, but you've got to be on steroids, and the only roids that Jordan's got are hemorrhoids. So.
I shouldn't have told him that. I'm just pretty sure it's a hemorrhoid. I've never seen it. Sam, despite everything I've said, is a really important guy. I'd hate if something were to ever happen to him, because then his son would have to grow up without a father, and the 4 children locked in his cellar would starve to death. That's it. Go for it.
Okay, Jordan is not a pretty bloke, but he is pretty broke, so close enough. Yeah, he's so skint that he recently had to get circumcised at a restaurant because it's the only way he could leave a tip. He is looking for work, though. He thought about training to become a lawyer, but it turns out he couldn't pass the bar without ordering a drink. So, no, but joking aside, Jordan is a really nice guy and one of my favourite comics. So if you enjoy his stuff tonight and you want to say hello to him outside, you can find him outside, sleeping on a bench.
What a fun battle. It felt like a battle between, like, Walter White and Jesse Pinkman if, like, Walter was the younger one and Jesse was the older one.
Yeah, Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
Version. That was a very fun battle. I enjoyed it. I love Manchester. They always have great battles. And this was no different. I think Jordan kind of showed he's the veteran that has been doing this consistently.
Really?
Very often. He's on RBL Weekly. He's got battles that rank. I feel like Sam did very well. There were a couple things that I noticed that, like, I feel like he could have changed a little bit. He had that wrestling joke that Jordan made a joke about Sam being Stone Cold Steve exhausting,
yes.
Which is hilarious. I've heard so many Stone Cold.
That's what I was going to say.
Riffs, like different phrases with Stone Cold. That was my first time ever hearing that one, and I thought it was very well done. I think Sam should have rebutted with his wrestling joke right then. He already had it written down. That would have been a perfect time to rebuttal with that, and then use the Hagrid joke later. But
yeah,
that was something I noticed. What did you think about this battle?
I really liked this battle. I thought Jordan had an advantage because he got to put his notes on the table next to him.
Yeah.
So it was kind of an advantage because he could, like, peek there, and it kind of just looked like he was, like, an alcoholic looking at his next drink. Whereas Sam had it in his hand, and it felt more obvious.
A little more forced.
Yeah. But again, the notes on the stage.
Yeah.
I think that's, like, maybe one of the only reasons why it would be a number 6 battle. Because the jokes were good. I did not understand the Wrath one, and I just assumed that I'm too young to understand.
The Castaway one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's hilarious. You are too young.
I was like, that one got a big pop, and I was so confused.
That's very funny. Yeah, Lexi's a little too young to get the Castaway reference. Tom Hanks, Wilson.
Mm.
She still doesn't know. She's just nodding. She's like, Chet Hanks' dad.
Yeah. Don't call me out like that. Indubitably.
Hilarious.
And I also thought, when Jordan called Sam an octopus, I was like, Jordan's looking more, what do you say, tentacly than Sam. I was like, Sam's clean cut. He's got no hair on his body.
Yeah.
So that one was interesting to me, but it worked really well in the room.
Yeah. Yeah. Fun battle. 2 points going to Manchester. Another 2 points going to Jordan Ducharme and Sam Thorley. Good battle. Jordan Ducharme, again, we're talking to a couple venues trying to set up an international roast all-star game. And I think Jordan's got a great case to make the team this year. We'll also be doing a WRBL all-star game, or at least we're going to try to. We set up a meeting about that today, and I think it's gonna go well. Very excited to do that. Make sure you're checking out the WRBL on the Patreon. Mike Eaton's done a fantastic job there. Him and Tom Goff were running it. Now it's just Mike Eaton, but Mike's hilarious, and those episodes are so fun to watch. He's somebody I think should host RBL Weekly every now and then.
Mm-hmm. He's great.
Yeah. But that will take us to our number 5 battle, and we are staying in the International East Division as we move to last season's world champion, Tokyo. And this is a title match for them. This is the challenger, Troy Lewis, who did a run in the States earlier this year, taking on the champion John Sabay.
All right, yeah. So like John said, we talked about Star Wars. John actually used to like Star Wars, but now he doesn't like it as much. His favorite planet was Naboo, but now he doesn't like it because that's what his wife says every time he asks for some head.
It's important to communicate, y'all. Troy has 3 children. I know. It shows he's a potent and virile man. It also shows he doesn't know that sometimes you can just lick the pussy. Don't you have an Ivy League education?
Lick it before you stick it. 2 things can be true. John used to be a blackjack dealer, which is pretty weird because doesn't John look like the person who yells, "Hit me" before he busts?
Troy looks like the one black dude that lives in Denver. He got the body of a wide receiver and the vibe of a BetterHelp therapist. And I would know.
Facts. So John is actually 43 years old. Yeah, you wouldn't know unless you looked at how he wears his jeans. Occasionally, John says things that remind me of how old he is, like, you know, I love X-Men.
So do you.
John, it's 2025. They prefer to be called transgenders.
My bad, I got a lot to learn. Troy's name is actually really hard to say in Japanese. Because in Japanese, todoi means like dull or slow. It's like the fanciest way to say that someone's stupid. A lot like how getting a football scholarship to an Ivy League school
These are facts. Doesn't John look like that frog that was on the cover of that box of cereal, Smacks? It had 2 names. It was Honey Smacks, Sugar Smacks. There was 2 Smacks. And John also needs 2 Smacks to bust a nut.
I'm really relieved that you know all the ways I bust. Such is the strength of friendship, yo. Oh, man. Ivy League school. Prodigious athlete. He can't lose. This gambling habit. He got kids to feed. Listen, Troy does like the X-Men also. Actually, his favorite X-Men is Gambit. So when I asked him, I said, dang, what is it you like about Gambit? Is it that he is in love with someone that could never reciprocate? Is it his past of thievery and how he can't shake the reputation that claimed? Troy said, nah, he throws cards, and that's cool. Coincidentally, when I asked his bookie, what do you like about Troy's football career? He said, he throws games. And that's cool.
That's right. I like Gambit. Yeah, I ain't with that gay shit. He throws cards at niggas, yeah. Yeah, so John, he's kind of like racially ambiguous in the face, but with his hair, he's also kind of like gender ambiguous. Like he kind of got like a gay lady thing going on.
Yeah, why you scared, dudes?
Yeah, John looks like Dora the Explorer and Diego if they had a suicide bomb in their backpack.
Thank you, genetically engineered Kardashian bait. As I said, Troy and I share many disparate nerdy interests, one of which was a love of particular cartoons. We bonded over a love of the Boondocks, the Venture Brothers, and Robot Chicken, which you may all know from the programming block of Adult Swim. That's okay, it is the same thing. Adult Swim. Two words that can't be used in a sentence together about Troy.
I guess it was a little bit of a long battle, but a very fun battle. It was a title match between John Sabay and Troy Lewis. What did you think of that battle?
That battle was so fun. I loved, is it John?
John, yeah.
John had his personality just really stood out in that battle, and I loved his like little quick like inserts that you could tell weren't jokes. Like he just had commentary on his own battle. Yeah. Like in the beginning when he was like, every time he wants to eat his wife's pussy, he says, nah, boo. And then John's just like, consent is important, actually. And then he was like, did you know that you can only, like, this guy, like, has 3 kids and he can only, only eating pussy is, like, an option. And he was like, yeah, but my wife keeps saying, like, boo. Yeah. So, like, that was so funny how, like, the first 2 rounds were just about each other, like, eating people's pussies. And gosh, that was just so fun. I can tell that it was a title match.
Yeah, that was very fun. I feel like they both had fun jokes. I noticed the same thing I just talked about with the Jordan Ducharme and Sam Thorley thing, where I said Sam should have done that wrestling joke. John, when Troy brought up X-Men, John had a joke about X-Men. He didn't use it right then. I feel like it would have hit a little harder if he did use it then.
Well, I was going to ask you if you thought it would hit the same because it was such a long joke. Compared to him just being like, your chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I still think it would have worked. I think you probably could have cut some of the fat if you used it immediately after that joke. Like, you don't have to set up that he likes X-Men again because he just set it up. He set up that you like X-Men. You'd be like, you do too.
Yeah. I do agree that since he brought it up like a round or 2 later, that it didn't hit as hard because the audience was like, we've already talked about that.
But it was still a very funny joke. As like when he started it, I was like, where are we going with this? Like, who cares? And then when he switched it up and the coach said he throws games, that's cool. I thought it was a very funny twist.
That's how I felt about everything that John said, and that's why.
Yeah, also the Adult Swim, some of the other jokes. It's so funny. Great battle. Troy Lewis, John Sabay bringing Tokyo 3 points as you guys fight in the International East Division. And now that brings us to our number 4 battle. And guess what, guys? We're staying in the International East Division. This is...
That's supposed to be a good, happy sound effect.
I don't know what it was.
Me neither. I don't know. We've been watching a lot of battles.
It sounded like the big guy from Frozen. Big summer blowout. All right. Number 4 battle this week. Still the International East Division. This comes to us from London. This is Candice Bryan versus James Milham. Let's check it out.
Hello. What up? This unemployed supervillain is James Milham. James, let me look at my notes. What have I written? James is a mediocre... The end. No. James... I just pull a Ken right now. No. James is a mediocre, boring white male comedian. So he does have a podcast. And James's podcast, this is true, only has 4 subscribers. Yeah, and those 4 subscribers are James, his 2 co-hosts, and Samaritans.
Candice is as hot as she is funny.
Thank you.
She isn't. Candice smokes a lot of marijuana. Yeah, she does actually remind me of a joint. She's white, she's skinny, and often passed around by 4 ugly comedians. And those are my 4 subscribers.
And it's nice to see you again, James. It's been a good time. James wears this cap to hide his receding hairline. He also has this facial hair to cover up his receding jawline. Yeah, and soon he's gonna need to call a suicide hotline.
Candice is from the deep south of America, so she's disappointed to be roasting a white man this evening. Run. Candice grew up communist, and just like communism, Candice doesn't work. Candice is so broke, she joined a redneck porn website called OnlyClans.
I actually make 90,000 pounds a year, but whatever. James has gained a little bit of weight recently. Yeah, and that's because apparently no one told him that it still has calories if it's your own jizz. They get what I'm talking about.
Candice has resting lobotomy face. Candice converted to Judaism when she was younger, and as a Jewish girl with clear autism, she has very conflicting feelings about trains.
Maybe I am autistic because I don't get that joke. James is 27 years old. That's crazy. Yeah, but it's true. James is 27, and if we're lucky, he will join the 27 Club. But instead of ODing on heroin, he's probably gonna OD on his own jizz.
Not if you
Wait,
get
say that
that
again?
first.
Suck it.
I love him.
Sick. It's good to have my father in. Candice looks like if Dr. Zeus drew a trans character.
Is that the whole joke?
No, the tag is worse.
Okay.
Fucking Horton quiz or who? I don't know. Candice's boyfriend has a foot fetish, so he must be buzzing about her face.
Hadouken!
I'm sorry.
Are we in trip 5?
Is this the last one?
Yeah.
So James's last name is Milam, which is spelled like Mile Ham. James Milam, more like James 2-inch Ham. Okay, I knew that was stupid. He liked it because he knows it's true. He has a small penis.
Very small.
Thank you.
Candice claims to have body dysmorphia, but it turns out she just looks like that. Sorry, Candice. Okay.
Why are you so terrified every time you tell a joke?
Because I don't want to be mean. I really like you, Candice. Candice is short for can this bitch throw up anymore?
So you think I'm skinny? Amazing. I think that's it. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, great.
This one was super fun.
That was a very fun battle. Honestly, the feedback I got from most of the ranking committee this week was that they were surprised they were ranking a one-sided battle so highly, but I do feel like she had a couple of good ones in there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we know which side. If it was one-sided, we'd know which side won. But I really enjoyed so many of James's jokes, and even the in-between stuff. When she passed the mic to somebody in the audience and that didn't go well. It almost never does. But and then he's like, my dad's here. All of the little things like that. The saying how much he likes her and he doesn't want to be mean to her by following that up with can this bitch throw up anymore was so funny. I really enjoyed the foot fetish. He must be buzzing about her face joke. I thought that was very funny.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of this battle?
I do agree it was one-sided. I feel like the momentum flipped right off the bat when James said that she's as hot as she is funny. And she said,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
Which made his joke stronger
Even
in the
harder when he
punchline.
said
And I felt
she
like,
isn't.
yeah. And if she had withheld that, I felt like that joke wouldn't have been as hard. I also could tell like Candice is like super silly and like loves to write jokes that makes her laugh, which I really love. But you could kind of tell she did this like little shoulder thing towards the audience when you could tell that she wasn't confident in her jokes.
Yeah.
To like fake confidence and be like, eh?
2-inch Ham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought that like I could see the confidence, like she lost it as she was delivering her jokes. But I thought they were great.
I will say it is also hard to build momentum when you're like, all right, let me start. What were my notes? And then you pull out your notes.
Yeah. That was
a
tough start.
I've been harping on the notes all episode, but if you're going to do it, pull them out during the battle, especially like try and do it when your opponent is going, but try not to bring attention to it. I feel like that halts the momentum.
And this is just a personal preference for me, but I felt like James did so good with his stage presence despite being glued to his phone.
Yes.
I was really impressed by that because he connected with the audience regardless, but I felt like
still make it work.
I felt like he had his phone out because like he couldn't choose the jokes he loved because he had so many.
A lot. There were a lot in there.
And for me, I was like, dude, I would have gone home like remembering that Dr. Seuss trans joke.
Oh, yes.
I would have gone home remembering that she's from the South, so she's disappointed roasting a white boy tonight.
Yeah.
If you had like stopped there, like I felt like those would have hit more. because he had like 2 jokes after that, but I was like, you led with your best joke, and I was like, just let it stay. But that's just like,
I always think you should end on your best joke. I feel like the Avery Drew Schaefer battle earlier, that was one of the things that I've talked about with some of the ranking committee is they both had some good jokes that they then stepped on with not as good tags.
Yeah. Well, it's like a gray area now because I don't know. The rules are like 5 jokes back and forth, right?
I think they're different. They're different for every region. I don't know if London is 5 jokes back and forth. I would imagine it's a little more, but...
Well, with all the battles, even Bay Area, you can tell like people are trying to squeeze as many jokes as they can in each round.
100%.
Which either doesn't go well or it can really help you.
It can work if all of the jokes are tight, but...
Yeah. Some of them were unrelated in this one. But I do think James like wrote such good jokes that he just didn't want to choose his top 5 or whatever.
And I'm glad he told them all.
Yeah.
That was a very fun battle. Fun battle for both of them.
That was great.
James Milham and Candace Bryan picking up 4 points for London. Very fun battle. And now we move over to the International West Division. A lot of international battles. You're getting better at fading enthusiasm. This battle comes to us from Scotland. It's a very fun battle between Matt McDonald and one of RBL's top competitors, last season's MVP, Jack Traynor. Let's check it out.
Sorry, everyone, but this is about to get incredibly ableist as I'm going to... This card's on the table, but I'm going to have to go for Matt's clear, most glaring disability. He's bald. Matt's family set up a GoFundMe to get him flights to a country that have a medical procedure that would let him peacefully put an end to his suffering. No, not Switzerland, Turkey. Great, we had a wrestler and now Matt. Who booked this roast? The Make-A-Wish Foundation? Matt's so bald, he's like if Walt Jr. was actually Hank's son.
Oh, guys, this looks like the physical and mental disability showdown. Guys, Jack's mustache looks like pizza sauce, and Jack's and his hair looks like an overweight dog with frail, shaking hips took a loose shite on his head. Jack went viral online recently. Very exciting. Give him a cheer for that, guys. Yeah, he went viral online when he was caught by the East Ayrshire nonce hunters. Yeah. No, Jack's not a pedo. Jack's not a pedo, guys, because I don't think you can be a pedo when you have a mental age of 5.
One thing Matt shared with me is that sometimes children can be honest to the point of cruelty. One time Matt walked past a baby and it said, "What's wrong with him? That guy's so bald. Is he also a baby?" Accessibility is a big issue in Matt's life. Can you believe it's 2025 and there's still some places he can't enter because of his condition, like a hairdresser's? Matt's nickname in high school was Bad Tires, not because he was in a wheelchair, but because he was incredibly bald.
Jack looks like he was part of a medical trial that cured 70% of his Down syndrome. Jack looks like he wipes his arse about as often as I go for a jog. Jack looks like the first result in a Google image search for the long-term effects of fetal alcohol syndrome. And Jack looks like he's yet to learn the alphabet.
Matt has a horse cock, and by that I mean his entire lower half is on ketamine.
Ketamine that you sold me, you fucking junkie.
If Matt did get into horse racing, I reckon he'd make for an excellent Claire Balding. Matt's so bald, anytime he's in formal wear, people assume he's en route to a Pitbull concert. Matt's so bald, I thought Vin Diesel crashed whilst filming a new movie. Matt really struggles to manage stairs. Matt really struggles to manage his hairs.
Jack looks like he would tell you that vaccines are poison while he's halfway through doing a key of pure fentanyl. Jack looks like he sucks food residue out of those gross little hanging down whiskers at the side of his mustache. Jack, if you're here, then who's commenting, "Wake up, people!" under 9/11 conspiracy video? Honestly, guys, Jack looks like he knows more about Building 7 than he does about his own mother. Jack looks like the last book that he read cover to cover was the Guinness Book of World Records. Oh, fuck me. Jesus, okay, fuck that. Okay, on you go, Jack.
Hey, Matt, can you do this? That was my whole round. On you go, mate.
Jack does look like a fucking idiot, but believe it or not, he was actually top of his class at school. He was actually top of the class at school. Go around and applause for that, guys. Yeah, he was top of the class at school for eating crayons and licking windows. Jack looks like what would happen if Ron Weasley and Susan Boyle had a child. And then that child got kicked in the head by a horse. Jack looks like one of the Rugrats grew up, then starred in the movie Trainspotting. And then he got kicked in the head by a horse.
God, I really hope I don't win this. We agreed that the loser has to drive home. Matt works at the BBC, so it isn't just his hat that's good at covering up stuff. Matt looks like Johnny Sins if Johnny was sinning in his previous life and this is how God chose to punish him. Matt struggles with his condition. Not in shampoo. Hey, come on! No, seriously though, Matt doesn't actually have cerebral palsy. Someone asked him if he had CP and he thought they meant child porn. He's just had to keep up this ruse ever since.
Thank you.
All right, that was a fun battle from Scotland. Jack Trainer and Matt McDonald. I really enjoyed Jack's going after his disability and then it being his baldness. Very fun. I feel like this is kind of where the whole ranking committee comes into play. Like we mentioned earlier, how close all of the cities were. This ranking could have ended up 6th or 7th easily. I feel like both of them had really strong hits, but also some misses.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed their chemistry on stage.
Yeah. You can tell that they're friends. I thought, what's his name? Matt. I loved his power move of when Jack took off his hat to show like I have hair, and then Matt took off his hat, and then everyone was cheering for him being bald, and he literally was like, no more cheering. Like that put him in a power position, and for me it was like he's like, yeah, I'm bald and I don't care.
Yeah. I do think it's very funny to flex having hair, but it's red. It's not a huge flex. I, as a ginger, would rather be bald. It's not true, but I loved the
Your wish will come true.
I love the prop comedy. Jack Trainer pulling out the brush and strutting it through his hair. And then, all right, your turn. Very funny.
I would love to watch it back again and see like if he had his hand in his pocket the whole time, like trying to hide
the right time to use it.
Yeah.
A very fun battle. Maybe this finished a little higher because of the Jack Trainer legacy and the ableism vote. But fun battle that picks up 5 points for Scotland this week, bringing their total up to 33.5. putting them in the lead currently for that international wild card spot.
Okay.
We've got 2 more battles. Let's check out this next one. Been a very international heavy day today. Let's continue that trend. This number 2 battle comes to us from Barcelona. This is James Regal versus Aidan O'Reilly. James Regal possibly tying Ryan Cole. I'm going to have to check the stats, but I believe he is now tied with Ryan Colin for the most RBL appearances. Another phenomenal appearance, James Regal, putting up so many points to start the season. If you got him on your fantasy team, you're eating well. I know that because I have him on my team.
You do not look like you're eating well, Josh.
That is fair. Don't make me start talking about how you're eating on the podcast.
Wait, what?
Let's just watch the number 2 battle. James Regal, Aidan O'Reilly. Let's check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the creator of the Barcelona roast battle. Woo! Yeah. Thank you for letting us all be part of your midlife crisis. Now, in America, in the American Roast Battle League, James is called Barcelona's MVP. Yeah. And I think based on your interest in younger women, a lot of people here would agree that you're Barcelona's most vicious pedophile. James is trying always hard to be involved in the best battle, okay? And the best battle is called the Battle of the Week. But he's always involved because Battle of the Week's the best way to describe it when James tries to fuck a teenager.
He's right. I'm a pretty big deal around here. This out of work Game of Thrones extra is Aidan O'Reilly. Women like to say Aidan puts the ick in Celtic. Aidan's actually a really nice guy. Unfortunately, he looks like the only black he's been near is a pint of Guinness. All right, Jesus. It's him, not me. Fucking hell. All right. Good luck.
Thank you, sir. James is 42 years old. Emphasis on the old. When stupid. James was a DJ in London when I was still breastfeeding, so at least one of us was getting to see tits. James was a married man when I was doing my last exam in uni. At least my exam wasn't cheated on.
I would like to point out today is actually my 6th wedding anniversary, so actually today. God rest her soul wherever she is. So speaking of cheating, Aidan caught his dad cheating on his secretary when he was younger, and then he told his school teacher about it. You fucking snitch. I thought St. Patrick drove all the snakes out of Ireland, but apparently he left one behind.
James is such a dickhead. He's such a dickhead that when he was getting circumcised, the doctor accidentally removed his chin.
That's good.
Jesus Christ.
That's good.
Yeah, when James does chin-ups, they're just called ups. It looks like James's Sharpie ran out of ink when he was filling in his beard. It's not a jawline, it's a draw line.
That's good. Fuck, he's good. He is good. He's a really good joke writer, but the delivery is a bit monotonous and robotic. A bit like an Irish AI, you know? He sounds a bit like ChatGPT. Diddly 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 diddly. You get the idea.
James sounds like ChatGPT though.
Mine was better.
Yeah. So James got married in 2019 and then divorced in 2021, which means his wife left him when she got that 2020 vision and realized who she was fucking. She realized she was fucking this budget Paul Rudd, more like Paul Dud. James paid for all of his wife's sailing lessons and then she sailed away. So he puts the lone in lonely. Oh. Okay, sorry, that was just too sad. Sorry, didn't touch it.
Be careful, you're starting to become unlikable. Aiden's got loads of tattoos, but he got one on his shoulder shortly after the thing with his dad. The tattoos of the Tree of Knowledge from the Garden of Eden. The tree represents temptation, and the serpent, represents Aiden, you dirty fucking snake cockblock.
Last joke. James is a Jew and a patriotic Englishman, so he only showers using British gas. But James, he's a non-practicing Jew. He's a non-practicing Jew, so he never learned values from the Book of Torah. Okay, he puts the sin in synagogue. But I think James could have benefited from reading the Torah because last week he tore a hamstring when he bent down to ask for a girl's number.
That is true, that happened. You're very staunchly pro-United Ireland, as it's very ironic you're for a United Ireland, but you were very keen to break up your parents' union by snitching on your fucking dad. That's too nasty. So Aidan is a really keen rower. Back home, they call him the Conor McGregor of rowing because he looks racist and he hits women. Aidan spent 32 days in a boat with two of his friends to set a Guinness World Record for rowing around Ireland. Amazing. His crewmates also set a second world record for most consecutive days spent with a boring Irish cunt.
All right, that is the number 2 battle coming to us from Barcelona. James Regal, Aidan O'Reilly. What did you think of this battle, Lex?
I really liked this battle. It was interesting. You could kind of feel the momentum shift.
Yeah.
Back to James. I think Aidan started out really strong.
Yeah,
and
what I was
then
gonna say too.
The joke started offending the audience. Like James wasn't even tripping, but people were like, whoa, like this is a little too much. And I feel like James had like the opportunity to like swoop in there and he stuttered on that. I forget the joke.
You see, I don't remember which one he stuttered on either. He had a couple when he started talking about his divorce and like it being 6 years to the day, and then I feel like that's kind of when he started winning him back over. Like they seemed sad for James, and James seemed like fine with where he's at now. And then I feel like Aidan just had one or two that kind of didn't hit, and the momentum was on James' side at the end there. And then James kind of gave it back to him with that long rowing joke at the end.
No, I feel like this would be an entirely different battle, like if they had chosen different orders for their jokes.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like Aidan really did come out swinging, and then once James, maybe it was when James pointed out his delivery and how monotonous he was. I did like hone in on that, and I was like, I think James kind of nailed it. That his delivery, his joke writing was great. He had a lot of really good, well-written jokes, Aidan did, but I think the delivery was just a little too robotic, which I fall victim to myself. So
me too, honestly. It's hard. You've practiced it so many times. You're like, okay, I'm just thinking about how to deliver this, where you kind of have to like get loose and really be in the moment.
I loved the dickhead joke. The draw line joke was so dumb but very funny. I thought it was very, very well done. I feel like this wasn't even close to James Regal's not even close to James Regal's best appearance on the podcast this year. but I feel like even his average appearance is better than a lot of people's best. So
shout out.
Great job, James Regal. Aiden O'Reilly picking up 6 points for Barcelona, who is in the lead in the International West Division with 42 points. They are currently up 8.5 to Scotland. Very fun playoff race to watch. And now we've got our number one battle. Very excited to watch this battle. Was hearing a lot about this battle leading up to it, and very excited to watch it here live. This comes to us from the States. We're back in the U.S. The U.S. West Division. This comes to us from Los Angeles. This is Jay Light, current league runner for Rookie of the Year. Surprisingly, he's doesn't make sense really, but
not at all.
Apparently, that's what we're doing. And then he is Jay Light is taking on Season 1 world champion Ryan Nesson. Let's check it out.
All right, Jesus Christ, Jay, look at those lips. You look like Pixar animated a plunger. Jay looks like the first man to sprain an ankle putting on chapstick. Because I'm kidding, Jay's actually in great shape. He does 200 push-ups a day. He's like, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ryan is a Jew who owns a wallet company. On the nose. That would be like if I owned a school shooter training camp. That's crazy. Ryan is such a shameless entrepreneur. If he survived the Holocaust, he would be trying to flip the shoes on eBay.
Guys, go by the wallets, please. I want to touch all your money as well. You guys keep it going for phony Hinchcliffe. Jay's mom works for a nonprofit. I'm guessing she's his agent. Jay actually just dropped a new YouTube special. It's called My Wife Hates These Jokes. And according to the comment section, Jay has over 200 wives.
Oh my God. That is quite a burn. I'm gonna need some ice. Can somebody talk to me? Get me some? I know Ryan just called it on his Mexican wife. Ryan has been having trouble getting his wife pregnant. He treats her pussy like Palestine. No kids are getting out of there alive.
You're saying it. You're going to say free Palestine. Don't expect the Jews not to want it. Okay? That's all I'm saying. See if we can control the bank. Steal us the West Bank. Keeping on for the bad boy of book club. Jay has a bunch of terrible tattoos. I'm Jewish, I would know. No, he has a bunch of terrible tattoos. He's got a flambe hand, a cow skull, and a bloody milkshake. Jay's covered in more shitty artwork than a retarded kid's refrigerator.
Everybody keep it going for Shylock LaBeouf. Ryan's nose is so big, when he sneezes in LA, they say, "Bless you" in Bakersfield.
That's good. Jay sounds like every black comedian's impression of a white comedian. Like, hey guys. Jay's real name is Jerry, but his parents call him Jay because that was the shape of the hanger they tried to abort him with.
This is Ryan, a guy who thinks strippers actually like him. Ryan looks like he got hit really hard by the vape tariffs.
30% is crazy. We can agree on that, right? 30%? It's fucking insane.
How's he gonna get that mango man now?
Jay looks like he has to take a Tums before he eats pussy.
Only when it's your Mexican wife.
Spicy. Yes, Jay was actually a magician up until he lost his virginity. So Jay is still a magician. Yeah, he. What was the part of it? Fuck it, just end it with that. Go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Ended on a real gut buster there. Speaking of busted guts, Ryan's dad died of stomach cancer. Ryan, your comedy career is a lot like your dad's chemo. Anyone who tells you it's working is lying to you. I only see Ryan perform on 2 stages, and at least your dad made it to stage 4.
All right. That was our number 1 battle of the week coming to us from LA. That was Jay Light versus Ryan Netson. What did you think of that battle?
That battle was so much fun.
That was a very fun battle.
That was insane. The push-ups one with the glasses, like
so funny.
Like the whole battle, I was just like, oh my god, that's such a good joke, like reminiscing on it. And then Jay pulled out that kind of joke at the very end about the stage 4.
Yeah, his dad had stomach cancer, gut busted. That was so funny.
Only Jay can get away with being like, what a gut buster.
Yes,
Sounds
it
like
was very much his terminology.
Yeah, he was using his vernacular to his advantage. He sounded like a 1930s radio host.
Yeah, some people, if they use a word like that, you know it's like a setup for a punchline. With Jay, like that just seemed like one of his regular phrases. Very, very fun battle. I enjoyed all of the writing in this battle. The back and forth, the attacking his wife. Very fun.
Yes, I think Jay stands out so much to me with his rebuttals.
Yes.
And when he said, I only use a Tums when I eat out your wife.
The Tums joke was hilarious.
So funny.
Very funny. But yeah, Jay's rebuttal was great.
But Ryan was making it so that Jay wasn't able to like sneak those rebuttals in there.
Yeah.
It was such a good battle.
I feel like they were really good dance partners in this one, just bouncing off each other back and forth. Also, one thing that they did, they had an agreement to not do any filed killer jokes. They did just jokes about each other, and I thought that was very well done. I think more people should do that, so to avoid the more hack joke topics. But
I love that they're challenging themselves like that, because I know people that are like, I don't want you to talk about this is off limits, but they're just like, let's step the writing up.
Let's both not make these jokes. Let's both talk about like actual stuff that's going on.
And it totally paid off.
And it did. Number 1 battle this week, 7 points going to LA. They extend their lead. We do got to wrap it up, so we'll just start going over the points. We had a couple technical difficulties.
This is our 3rd time charging the camera.
In case you guys have noticed the shift in energy after the Scotland battle.
I've been here for 3 hours.
It was that and jokes I made about Lexi.
I'm over it now.
Let's check the standings. Starting with the U.S. West Division, we've got LA in first place with 79.5 points. The Bay Area in second with 64 points. Austin with 36.5 in third. And Denver with 4 points. Moving over to the East Division in the U.S., we've got New York in first with 63.5 points. Chicago in second with 55.5. And Cleveland in third with 18. There was a mistake last week. We put out the graphic. I also mentioned that Cleveland had 17 when they, in fact, had 18. That will be corrected on the graphic this week. And we can use the same one as we used last week for you guys because you didn't place this week. 18 points for Cleveland. They're in third. And Atlanta is in fourth in the U.S. East with 11 points. Moving over to the international side of things, in the West Division, we've got Barcelona in first with 42 points and Scotland in second with 33.5. That's going to be a very close playoff race until the end, I believe. The other two cities, Vancouver, Toronto, we're going to need to step it up. Ironically, Toronto is not the team with 6. That is Vancouver, and Toronto has 1 point, which is currently leading the race to relegation and ending up in the WRBL next season. So come on, Toronto, step it up. Moving over to the International East Division, we've got Manchester in the lead with 45 points. Tokyo in second with 15. London in third with 13 after they picked up 4 today. And Sydney's fourth with 3 points. The International East Division is our big movers of the week. We had 5 international cities that placed, 3 of them from the International East Division. Not much shakeup wise in the standings, but they all gained some points there. Now, as we move over to the wild card, we've got the Bay Area leading the race to the wild card with 64 points, Chicago in second, Austin third, and Cleveland fourth. And over on the international wild card side, we've got Scotland leading, Tokyo in second, London in third, and Vancouver bringing up the rear there. And with that, that has been week 16 of RBL Weekly Season 3. Lexi Accinelli, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, guys. I hope you guys leave less hate comments.
All right, don't read the comments. I'll tell you the same thing I told Artie. Don't read them.
Okay, I'm going to read them.
And then we're all going to read them. But let us know the different cities that you guys would like to see hosting RBL Weekly.
Yeah.
And let us know what your favorite battle was. All right. Hell yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Like, subscribe, join RBL Live. Peace. Let's roast.